everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. We are going to work on this Poulan XT riding mower. It's the exact same as a Craftsman or Poulan Pro, or they made them under a bunch of different names. Some of the box store Arians, stuff like that. Anyways, Craftsman, Poulan, whatever. Got this in a trade deal, 3 mowers for 1. I sold the guy a Craftsman LT 2000, got a Cub Cadet 1320, a Murray rear engine rider, and I got this. And we just did even trade. This will be the money maker for me. Probably going to get close to $500 for it. I do have to fix a couple of things that I know of, and they shouldn't be too difficult. It's a cable, blade engage cable, and I'm pretty sure that the blade pulley, the tensioner pulley, is stuck just because of rust in use and weathering and things like that. Got to put an engine shroud on it as well, the little grass guard for the flywheel. But apart from that, I hope that's all I got to do. It starts, runs, drives, cuts, fine. Got to do a little seat work too. Let's go ahead and get started on this thing. Alright, so let me give you an overview before we start it. 16.5 horsepower Briggs, 42-inch cut. Looks like it's been sitting a little bit. That's okay. Got grass growing on it. Just a bunch of grass caked around the pulleys. The belt looks like it's in decent shape. It looks like it is a little loose, but that's okay. I don't know if the tensioner pulley is fully down, so that could be remedied. I don't know. Blades are in decent shape. I don't really see any huge issues with it. This discharge chute is leaves a little to be desired. I could probably put a discharge chute that's a little bit nicer on it, depending on how nice this mower turns out. Looks like the tires are holding air pretty decent. I'll probably have to put some ATF in the rear tire. I have another seat that I can put on this. I'll just have to put a seat cover on it that actually has actually a little bit better seat that actually has padding on it. Maybe it won't be much, but I mean, like I said, everything looks like a Craftsman, just needs some greasing up and things like that. Got a 16.5 horsepower Briggs. Like I mentioned, it's missing this little, well, that flywheel shroud is actually a little loose anyways. I don't know why it's like that, but as long as the flywheel fan works okay. Somebody put the Briggs cap on it, but they forgot the little grass guard. I actually have one, I believe. Oh, right here. Here we go. Might just put the whole flywheel deal and everything on it. We'll see what I end up doing to it. That came off a 20-horse Briggs, but it'll work just fine. Like I said, it starts, runs, and cuts and drives fine, apart from the blades being stuck on. So, like I said, $450 to $500. I'll put a blade engage cable on it. We'll clean the deck up. I'm going to clean the deck up first, and we will then put the blade engage cable on it. I want to make sure the tensioner pulley and spring and all that's going to work. And I will have to put a return spring on it, I think. But these decks are pretty easy to get off. You have 1 point right there, 1 point for the cable, 1 point here for the side, and it's the same on the other side with 2 points on each side there. We've got all the return springs and whatnot for the blade brakes. The deck's just got some crud on it. It looks like it is in good shape otherwise, so we'll see. So cosmetically decent as well. So looking forward to working on this one. Hopefully I'll get this one knocked out in a pretty quick amount of time. Alright, so here's the deck. As you can see, we've got a lot of grass caked up in it. Condition wise, it looks pretty good apart from the discharge chute, but I'll just replace it with a different one, make it look a little bit better, since the mower looks decently nice. And they're not that expensive if I need to get one later in life here. So belt looks like it's in good shape, which is nice. I think what was happening was this thing's getting hung up. You see how jerky and jumpy it is? And you got my grooves and stuff worn into this as well. So this is one of those just I'm going to blow off the deck. I'll take this, once I blow off the deck, I'll show you how to take the engagement mechanism off, and we'll be good to go after that, hopefully. I'll probably tighten that, kind of move that over a little bit and tighten it up a little bit as well for the deck belt. But it's just this 9/16 inch, and then I'll show you the assembly. I've done this a few times. But the good news is everything is complete. The deck is complete otherwise, and it's just really tough to move the engagement cable. And of course, I've got a new one ordered here, and it looks like the clip and the little plastic mounting piece in there is complete and in there. So it's just a matter of me putting the new one on, which will require me to take out the gas tank here. But again, good shape otherwise. Needs, probably could put a new flywheel shroud on it, because this one's really torn up. And I got this one right here. I can just pop on it and we'll be good to go. So let me get the deck cleaned off, and then I'll catch up with y'all there. I don't remember if I told y'all or showed y'all the model number and all that. So this is a 960160017 lawnmower. That's the product number. PXT 16542 is your, I guess it's your identifier. One of these two is the model numbers. Usually it's this one. And then your serial number, again, date code 112608. So made in 2008. So this is one of the later LT1000-esque type lawnmowers before they, I guess, exclusively went over to the YS and the YTs and whatnot. I know Poulan and Arian still made these frame lawnmowers up until like 2012 or 13, maybe even longer than that. They do have the 4-spindle deck, or the 4-post spindles on them as opposed to the 3-post, which I guess they switched in like 2006 or along those lines. But one interesting thing is, anybody who's in the lawnmower world knows this, these are 6-point blades and 5-point spindle keyways. So somebody put MTD blades on this thing. It's like you make 2 types of blades and you chose the wrong one. So I have some right here that came off of actually this rotted out deck, and they are in good shape. Edge is a little bit rounded off on them, but the lift portion of it is very good, and so I'm just going to sharpen these and put them on. I know this keyway is a little compromised, but with the way that they do the newer style bolts, it's got this little washer that helps keep them on, and I've never had one really slip or slide after that. Looks like I do have a little bit of a fracture here on this spindle. It looks like the other 3 posts are good on it. I think that we will be okay. I think we'll be okay since it mounts in 4 different places there. There's just a little stress fracture right there. So let me get these blades sharpened, and I'll turn it over and we'll take off the deck tensioner arm and lube it up and make it better. Okay, y'all, so now we're going to move on. I put blades on it. I originally had the 46-inch blades in that video clip. I found some 42-inch blades. So we're going to go take this 9/16 inch nut off next. And it's got a locker on the bottom, so you just kind of have to push it up as you take it off. Alright, so you can take that bolt out. take this pulley off. Just make sure you get your belt off of the pulley first. There we go. So that pulley is off, and that assembly and housing. Then we have this the pivot point here. We have the actual arm itself. So let me take this belt off of this portion of the pulley as well. Just fold it over, and then we'll just take that out. You have a little washer here as well, set washer. You can kind of see a little bit of rust right here. We're going to wire wheel that off, and kind of wire wheel this off a little bit as well. But what happens a lot of times is that these grooves right here, it was also hard to pull because it was breaking blade engage cables, but these grooves right here will get worn into the blade engage mechanism, and so you just have to grind them off with a angle grinder or bench grinder, whatever you have it available. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and once I get everything cleaned up and lubed up, I'll put it back on, and we'll see how much more freely it moves after that. Alright, y'all, I got everything lubed up, ready to get back on this thing. So what I did, grind the grooves on the top. You see how they're nice and smooth now, as opposed to where they had a groove in them before. That's where the blade pin, or like the little pins for the blade brakes, a lot of times like to get stuck, and so you have to be kind of careful, because that'll cause like hard and uneven starting and stopping of the blades. So we're going to pop this back in. You got that little that big washer that I originally told you that goes in here, so that goes in there first. Now we're going to put this in there, and then the pivot washer, pulley. And now we will put the bolt in and the nut. There we are. Again, it's like a little square head on the bottom down there for it to lock into place. So we're just going to push it up here. Get everything situated, locked in, perfect. Put the 9/16 back on. This does need to go over a little bit more. Okay, so that should do it. Let's see how we pivot. You just have to move it back and forth a few times, let it set in. All the blade brakes are working properly, as you can see. And it's engaging a lot easier than it was. So this deck is ready to be put back onto the mower. I might go ahead and put the discharge chute on it while I'm at it, because I got one laying out in the yard there. This one right here probably won't worry with, because it's already beat to pieces, unless I just find just a really crappy looking lawnmower that I just don't want to spend the 20 bucks on. I can just throw that on. So we'll see what I end up doing with it. But putting this on, just grab some pliers. You just got to pull this snap ring off. Just got to pull the snap ring off right here. It's going to give you a little bit of a fight. You want to do your best to try and reuse it if you can. I don't know if you're, depends on how easily you can get it off. There we go. And then we'll pull this off. What will happen is the spring will come undone. That's okay. These are really easy to get back on, so don't fret. This one's gone. Give me just a second. I'll get the other one. So, much better, right? A little sun faded, but still works fine. So what we will do is we will put this spring back on here, like so. Then bend this back, place it down in between your grooves, which is going to try and prove difficult for me apparently. That's where it's supposed to be, so let's do that. And place in between the grooves on the mower deck, the mounting area, which doesn't want to go. There we go. Take this arm. You got to just kind of wiggle it through. Got to get it pushed up in the hole. So I can get my hands off of that. We'll push this down if we can. Got to push it back. It's an art form here, guys. Not really, but. So I've got it through the first one. Let's see if I can grab it. There we go. Got to get it through your spring. Might help if you had some extra help, but take these needle noses and probably go. So now I'm at the point where I'm on the other side of the mount. I just have to get it through that hole. Okay, I'm through the mount. Now I just got to get it through the discharge chute. Okay, through the discharge chute. Locking washer back on. I will straighten it out just a little bit, hopefully with these needle noses. Okay. Let's see if it locks back into place. I think that'll do. Yeah, that'll do perfect. Now we have a better discharge chute on it as well. Let me put this deck back on the bottom, and we will go into replacing the. Actually, I might go ahead and replace the cable on it. So let's go ahead and do that next. All right, y'all. On to the next thing. 10 millimeters to get the gas tank off. Be careful. It's easy to strip these bolts. Other side. Pull the tank up. I'll leave all the gas lines and stuff connected because it's working just fine. So now what we've got going on underneath, I don't know how well I will be able to show you, but underneath we have this blade engage arm right there. So the little plastic piece is popped off of it, but it looks like it's laying somewhere. No, it's not laying anywhere. They've rigged it. So let me take these, if I can get these vice grips off here, because they had it like permanently engaged with the vice grips. Wow, okay. There we go. Wow, okay. They had this one on real tight. Got some free vice grips out of it though. C.H. Manson automatic. Anyways, so that should allow the cable to probably fall to the ground. No, not quite. Actually, interesting. So the cable is still got the little cable still has a little plastic piece on it. It is a little frayed, but again, you don't need a ton of tension to get it to go. So let's see if I can get that right here. So it is a little frayed, but I still got the little end on it here, and I wonder if I can pull it back. No. I don't know. Let's see. It's got a little rust on it, but I might be able to save this cable, believe it or not. I am not sure yet. Let me see where it is. It's right there. So what if I put it right, let's see. I'll pull it out a little bit more if I can. Guys, I might be able to work this one back and forth to make it work. I'm not sure yet, though. There's a little plastic piece, and what it did is it just stretched and came off of the blade arm. I have had that happen with these aftermarket cables. Plus, if they get a bunch of stress and tension on them, then that also does not bode well for them. So let me see if I can get it on here. Alright, so I just popped it on. I think if I can WD-40 it a little bit, I think I might be able to keep it alive here. So let me just shoot some down into the cable from right here. Y'all saw where I popped it on, so I'm going to put you back on the tripod. You can see a little bit of water intrusion on the cable, just a little bit of surface rust. I think I can pull it back and forth a little bit, and I think we'll be able to make it work. So the cable didn't snap, it just, that little plastic piece came off. So we're just going to work this bad boy back and forth a little bit. Pull it. I'm just going to repeat this process until I feel a lot less or no tension on it. And we'll see if we can get it back up and running. What I usually do is I will, in order to prevent the little plastic thing coming off of the engagement lever, I will often put like electrical tape or something along those lines around it up here, just to keep it kind of taped down. So I usually will put like electrical tape or something along those lines to prevent it from falling off, and then I have to dry it off before I do that. But That usually will keep it from popping off. I had a brand new cable that did that a couple times, and did the electrical tape, and it lasted all season for the person, and he's the one that traded the mower back. So I'm going to do this a few times, work it back and forth. Once I get the tensioner spring also on the deck, so that's one thing that these are always missing because they always rust off. Tensioner spring for the deck goes from right here to right there. I'll show you that as well once I put it on there. Your return springs are on. My return springs are on here just fine. And this is moving freely. So I'm going to finish with that deck engagement lever, cable, whatever you want to call it. If I don't have to put a cable on it, that's $10 saved right there. And I'll get back to you when I do that. Alright, so I have put I ended up taking the little 4 bolts for the cable engagement off. And seems like it's working fine. I got a little bit too much electrical tape though, so that's alright though. You just force it down like that. Spring will retract and all that good stuff, and so it should be fine. Put the return spring on this deck here. That way whenever you disengage the blades, it returns just like so. When you engage the blades, it engages like they're supposed to. So yeah, I think we're good. I'm going to slide it back under there, reconnect everything. We'll take it out and see if everything is operational on this mower, and then I'll go ahead and wash it and button everything up, hopefully. Shouldn't have to do any engine deal. I checked the air filter. Air filter's okay. I'll change the oil in it. I'm going to change out this flywheel fan, and then also put that little grate on top of it as well. I wonder what happened that caused this. I don't know. But I don't think this shroud would have caused it because everything's on the way that it should be. So, alright guys, I don't know how well I'll be able to show you what I'm doing here, but I'm going to, that cable ended up being weak enough at the point right up here where it ended up breaking off. So I'm putting a new one on it. Probably should have done that anyways, but that's alright. I haven't really made myself more, but I'm going to lower the deck all the way, take off those pins to get it off, which are right here and right up here. I can get it. Ugh. Let me get 2 hands and I'll come up here to join you for a second. Okay, the washer that comes off with it. Take this old cable. I'm pulling it, literally just pulling it out of its mounting slot. And then I'm just going to pull it down, because it should be free from whatever bondage it has. Oh, I apologize. No, it's not. I've got to take it off of this, the mounting post here. So let me grab a screwdriver. This is just like a cable, like on a push mower or something. Screwdriver, or a pair of pliers, wow. And you just have to like wiggle it out somehow. Push your tabs in, push it through the hole. There we go. Now we should just be able to pull it down and out. Yes, sir. New one. We'll try, let's see what we need to do. I've got to come in from, I believe there's a hole right me get my light. Right there, right there for it to come through. So I'm wondering if I could take the spring and just feed it down there and through. Hopefully I can see that okay. Wonder if I could just take the spring and feed it down, ouch, like that. Just like that, yep. Perfect. Have a little bit extra slack, that's no big deal. So now what I'll do is I will mount this thing onto the blade engagement, push it up through the locker on the blade engagement. You can turn this around however you need to in order for it to work. Push it, we're going to lock it in, just like so. Now these do not lock in very well. So what I'm going to do is take some electrical tape, and we're just going to wrap it around this. Let's see, how is it going to situate itself? About like that, pretty much just like that. So let's do that. Like I said, this right here has worked for me in the past, so I'm going to do it again. And that keeps that plastic thing from popping off, because they're pretty bad about doing that. So now what I'll do is I will tension this spring back up. Apparently it likes to come loose. So there we go. Feed this arm back up through here. You just have to take that little ball off that is on it. Let's see, did I come the wrong way through the wires? Probably so. Oh well. I can fix that real quick. Just unplug this. Ugh. So this device is free. I'll go back up under the wiring harness with it. Push it into place. There we go. I think it's much happier now. Plug it back in. Everybody seems happy now. Spring and all that good stuff. Fit your screws in, back in, small bolts, whatever you want to call them. Finger tighten them. And then if you're careful, you can use an impact. Like that's working very well. All right. come with me for a second. We'll connect everything on the bottom down here. So I will use some zip ties to just kind of attach it to the top of the frame so that we're not kind of binding up any of the cable or anything like that. Just let it, let's see, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Just push it through, attach it to your pulley. There we go. Put this little retaining piece on, then you put your clip on, and then on the front we're going to attach this washer on top of this pulley. I know you can't see it because of the way that the deck is made, and then we're going to put this retaining clip in the top of that pulley. A little tricky because you have a hard time seeing it. Alright, so that's that. Let's see if we have blade engagement now. Let's see. Ugh. That's tight. It's very tight. I don't know why, but it is working. Probably will get a lot less tight whenever I use it actually in the, it's just, like I said, just very tight for some reason. I don't know why. It's not a lot of tension right there, which is good. Maybe the ball will help me. I think it'll engage a little bit easier when we finally put the when we get everything back running again. Let me put the gas tank back on it. Crank it up. We'll see what we got in terms of blade engagement and stuff. I don't want to break a brand new cable, but that thing is tight. That thing is tight for what it is. You know? But some of them are tight, so I might give it a couple of trial runs, see if it was working right, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all, everything looks like it's spinning freely, so I'm going to crank it up, see if we can engage the blades and whatnot, and see if everything will work like it needs to. Once I put a battery in it, stand by. Alright y'all, battery's in it. Starter solenoid's bad though. So I will replace the starter solenoid on it next, and then we'll test everything out. Easy squeezy for a solenoid though. So we'll do that in a second. Alright y'all, the starter solenoid is swapped. Very easy. You just take these 10 mils off of the gas tank, it exposes it, and it's just a bunch of 7/16 that get it off. So then you just take it off right there. 2 mounting points, and then 2 plugs for the grounds, because this is one of those 4-post ones, and should be good. We're going to take it on its maiden voyage. I did turn it over to make sure that it is turning over. It's got enough gas, or it's got enough oil in it to run for a little bit, enough gas in it to run as well. So let's see what we got. All right, here we go. Seems to be good. I think I got you on the pit photo there. Yeah. So seems to be good. Running, cutting, driving. Just got to make it do it a little bit better than it currently is. And that really is the only thing it really consists of is I think I'm gonna change out the fuel filter in it because it looks like it's pretty bad. And air filter, didn't I see the air filter was pretty good on it? Yeah, air filter is decent on it. I think I need to order some air filters. I kind of beat some of the dirt out of it. Next order of business, I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to pull this cap off and pull this cover off. Like I said, just a bunch of 10 mils here. And we're going to change out the flywheel fan. And we're also going to put in a engine shroud. One of those little shrouds like I've shown y'all already. That's a fairly easy job as well. I'll go ahead and do that off camera, and I'll rejoin you as soon as I get all this finished. Alright y'all, well, the Poulan is now gone. I did not... Really, I've been so busy the past few days. I mean, I haven't been able to sleep a whole lot just because you go to work, come back, and I've had like running around doing stuff with lawnmowers and stuff probably for the past 4 days, and I just never got around to filming it and realized that I didn't film it until after it left. But I don't know how well this picture will come through. I'll try and show you the finished product, which is right there. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad. And so that's the finished product of the mower. Really cleaned up nicely. No surprises, it still ran good, cut just fine. The engagement cable did seem a little bit tight on it, but I engaged it probably a good, between me and the new buyer, probably a good 10 to 15 times. I even put one of those bigger blade engage knobs on it instead of that standard knob that came on it. It seemed like it worked a little bit better. But it is gone. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I didn't get to film the finished product. I just have not filmed a lot the past couple of days. And I got that mower ready, and I've been running around doing a bunch of other stuff, and it just slipped until I realized that after it left, I didn't have it. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. A lot of common issues that we solved today with the blade cable and the tensioner arm getting frozen on those Craftsmans because of rust at the pivot point, and also because of the grooves that get worn into those to that tensioner arm, tensioner mechanism, whatever, by the blade brakes. So we got that all figured out. I appreciate y'all watching. Pretty common issues. Y'all can tell, if you can see the ones behind me here, that I don't really mind working on Craftsman riding mowers. So those are my preferred choice. And that Poulan was pretty easy fix. It went to a guy that bought one from me last year. He said that the deck belt kept jumping on it. Every time I test it, I can't get it to replicate the problem. I think it's a combination of the wrong belt. He bought it from an auto parts store, and I think the V on it was a little bit too pointed, and it was causing the deck belt to roll around on one of the pulleys. And I think when I think the grass that he cuts is relatively thick too, and so I think when he got it in that thick grass, it caused the belt to slip and or even freeze up one of the pulleys and throw it off. I don't think there's anything wrong with the mower. I'm going to throw another deck belt on it. Everything is aligned. So I just said, take this one. He brought it to me. I was like, take this one. I'll take this one back and just sell it off. I'll have no problem getting $5 to $5.50 for that lawnmower. Same price as the other. So keeps everybody happy, you know. So anyways, that lawnmower probably would have been a $500 mower easily. I'll still make that money off of it. I just got to put a $10 deck belt on it. Whoopie-doo. So thank y'all for watching. I'm not going to film that. And I will catch y'all on the next repair here in the next video. See you then.